Chapter 6. Lifetime of Hate. Years after the conclusion of World War II, when Victor had matured enough to journey independently, he embarked on a quest to trace the threads of Oscar's family and unearth the fate that had befallen Franz. The post-war European landscape remained fraught with peril, yet undeterred he pursued his mission. In an era where danger still lurked in every corner, Europe's shadows held their secrets close. It was a twist of fate that guided Victor down a narrow, grimy alleyway in West Berlin. And there, amidst the juxtaposition of hope and uncertainty, the puzzle pieces of his search seemed to converge, offering a glimmer of clarity. Stretching across a row of trash bins, sprawled a half-clothed figure of a man dispossessed of both shelter and nationality. Victor's recognition wasn't born from the man's destitution, but from a pair of indelible letters tattooed onto his left upper bicep. A.B. These initials held a significance that transcended the present circumstances, a reminder of the past. Those two letters denoted affiliation with the Schutzstaffel, SS. Back in basic training, medics had permanently marked SS personnel with their blood type, a seemingly innocuous measure that carried weighty implications. In the aftermath of the war, such insignias became symbols of condemnation, irrevocably linking individuals to an organization mired in atrocities. Victor's heart likely quickened as he comprehended the weight of that simple tattoo. It was a symbol transformed, once a utilitarian marker of medical necessity, now a stigmatic brand that could lead to confinement or worse. Amidst the backdrop of discarded refuse, Victor's encounter with this marked man embodied the lingering, complex aftermath of history's tumultuous chapters. Years of traversing Europe yielded little progress in Victor's relentless search. But that seemingly relentless quest took a pivotal turn one day as he treaded through a dim, squalid alley. In that fateful moment, Victor's intuition whispered of destiny. The man he encountered bore the telltale marks of his past, a former SS officer. As if guided by an unseen hand, Victor's path converged with the past he had sought to unravel. From this chance meeting, he gleaned invaluable insights from the former SS officer, knowledge that set the wheels of change into motion. Armed with this cryptic wisdom, Victor undertook a new mission, one not confined to personal curiosity, but encompassing the broader scope of post-war Europe. With the former SS officer's insights as his foundation, Victor embarked on constructing a network of individuals. This clandestine organization spanned Europe and even the Soviet Union, threading connections where discord once reigned. From the depths of that dim alley to the vast reaches of a continent grappling with the aftermath of conflict, Victor's purpose grew clear: to reclaim fragments of justice and rewrite a narrative of redemption from the ashes of history. Time proved to be Victor's ally as he painstakingly pieced together the puzzle. His endless search led him to a single survivor from Oscar's family, his sister. Swiftly, he facilitated her relocation to the United States, providing a haven far from the war's aftermath, allowing her to believe that it had been her wishes. Yet, the quest to uncover Franz's fate remained an uphill struggle. Victor's intricate network uncovered fragments of Franz's post-war life. He survived, only to be ensnared in the grim march of millions of German soldiers into the brutal confines of Soviet prison camps. Though Victor's tenacity bore fruit in bringing Oscar's sister to safety, he couldn't shake the weight of Franz's unresolved story. Amidst his accomplishments, the shadows of history still cast their somber veil, a reminder that some tales were obscured by echoes of war. The revelation that Soviets executed individuals bearing blood group tattoos sent waves of despair through Victor. It was a heart-wrenching blow that threatened to extinguish his flicker of hope. Yet, a glimmer of resilience emerged from the darkness when he received news about his friend Franz. Franz's existence had become a brutal ordeal within a Siberian camp, where survival meant stacking the lifeless forms of yesterday's victims. Amidst the inhumane conditions, months of tireless negotiations and strategic payments to influential figures finally culminated in a hard-won victory: Franz's release. The reunion with his old friend was a moment that tempered the harsh edges of war's cruelty. But the stark truth of Franz's condition struck Victor like a painful echo. The arm that once bore the tattoo was now absent, severed from elbow to hand, the upper part scarred and charred, a testament to the fires of suffering he had endured. As Victor approached Franz, the weight of their shared history hung heavy in the air. The vacant expression etched on Franz's face spoke of a spirit fractured by torment. It was clear that Franz's ability to offer aid or companionship had been ravaged by his trials. Yet for Victor, this was inconsequential. The debt he owed his friend transcended the bounds of mere utility. With unwavering resolve, Victor orchestrated the remainder of Franz's life. He ensured that Franz's years were spent devoid of want or hardship. The scars, physical and emotional, ran deep, but Victor's support, born from a debt of gratitude that could never be quantified. Amidst the backdrop of memories and contemplation, Victor now found himself seated behind his substantial wooden desk, his eyes fixed on his protégé, absorbed in tapping away at the screen of his organizer. A subtle thought danced across Victor's mind, a whispered observation. How strikingly the young man resembled Oscar, day by day. Victor couldn't help but be drawn into the nuances of the resemblance. The echoes of Oscar's features, expressions, and mannerisms seemed to manifest themselves in the young man's actions. It was as if time had etched Oscar's image onto the canvas of the protégé's existence. In these moments of reflection, Victor traversed the labyrinth of emotions that tied him to Oscar's legacy. The profound influence Oscar had exerted on Victor's life was now echoing forward through this protégé. Victor's heart swelled with a mix of nostalgia, fondness, and a touch of bittersweet yearning for the past. Passage of time had a way of folding layers upon layers, enfolding the past into the present. As Victor sat behind his desk, the lines between the then and the now blurred, and the memories intertwined with the tangible reality before him. It was a testament to the enduring power of relationships, to the way those who shaped our lives continue to weave through our stories, even as years separate us from shared moments. Having raised him as his own, Victor faced a curious truth. Official records declared him as his father, a guise that hid the reality about Eckehard. Not even William, his biological son, was privy to this concealed fact, a secret carefully guarded by Victor, ensuring it remained buried forever. "William," Victor mused silently, his expression contorting as if he had tasted something unpleasant. Releasing a protracted exhale, he recognized the weight of responsibility resting on his shoulders. The blame, he acknowledged, rested squarely on him for having afforded William a life of undue ease, where every desire was met since birth. These actions, he realized, had inadvertently shaped William into someone who appeared aimless and lacking direction. Victor's thoughts shifted quickly back to Eckehard. Even from his earliest moments, Victor sensed greatness within him. The trajectory of Eckehard's life seemed destined for significance, a stark divergence from William's seemingly unfulfilled potential. Victor had channeled considerable resources into advancing the genetic theories propagated by German scientists, all in the pursuit of engineering the epitome of a super soldier. Yet even in today's technologically advanced era, the enigma of human genetics persists, with countless aspects remaining shrouded in uncertainty. Amidst this scientific intrigue, a unique opportunity materialized for Victor, an opportunity akin to resurrection. This resurrection, however, wasn't meant for himself, to be reborn anew. Rather, it was a chance extended to Oscar, who Victor now referred to as Eckehard, his beloved son and protégé. Victor orchestrated a meticulous plan to ensure his proximity to Oscar's legacy, going to great lengths, even orchestrating the pregnancy of Oscar's niece to carry Eckehard after the implantation. This intricate design wouldn't have materialized without Franz's contribution of Oscar's blood-stained SS lapel patch. While not biologically related, Eckehard held a significance that transcended mere genetics. A smile adorned Victor's face as he inquired, "Is everything prepared for today's event? I've invested immense effort into making this day a reality." Ceasing his tasks, Eckhard lifted his gaze to meet his father's eyes. Yes, sir. Adams made contact this morning, and everything should be taking place within the hour. 10 minutes prior to detonation, this facility will go into lockdown with subterranean system being the only access. All precautions have been made to protect electronics and communications. All outside activities are presented as normal routine, till that point to prevent anyone in the government from becoming suspicious. Playing over endless possibility for failure in his mind, Victor spoke. Any movement from China? He inquired, worried they would move too soon. Looking at his tablet, Eckhard quickly found what he wanted. No, not at this time. According to satellite imagery, it appears to be just another day in Red China. Once we have confirmation of EMP detonation, mobilization of invasion forces will begin. Shortly after, remaining U.S. military aircraft, weapons, and naval vessels that survive will have activation codes transmitted, rendering them useless. As you requested, any that survive will be targeted with hypersonic missiles. Pleased with progress of his plan and anticipation of having revenge for Oscar's death, Victor leaned back in his chair in deep thought for a minute before speaking. When the operative is finished in North Korea, have him and the rest of his team eliminated. There is to be no record of this taking place. What about those soldiers that the incompetent general let escape? Eckhard didn't need to look at his tablet to answer that question. After all, it was his mission plans that took another unforeseen event. They are not an issue. Today they are holding a press conference, and I have an agent poised to eliminate their commander. Unsure if it will be before or after the EMP. Either way, they have no impact on our overall goal to take down this country. Everything is in place and progressing as planned, sir. Mind if I ask, how did you know Howard was the right person to get this accomplished? Victor started laughing lightly before saying one word. Greed. Though Eckhard understood greed was a powerful motivator, he thought there had to be more. Sir, that can't be all. It is easy to find a person motivated by greed, however, not to select one that can achieve desired outcomes. You are correct. That my son is a lesson I learned from my mentor. To win a race, you must control as many runners as possible. When it comes to politicians, that almost always means wealth. But it doesn't have to come from you, but connections and influences you may have. I created a worldwide network, one spanning nearly every country except for those I chose to demonize or destroy, like the Soviet Union. With such influence, leaders fear me, and little is outside of my control. These American politicians are simple to control. Only a few are in office to serve, those you limit, but most are there for money and power. Nodding his head, already knowing everything Victor had said after already having witnessed it all his life, he still didn't believe that answered his question. But how did you know Howard would be the one to become president? Stepping into more of his role as an educator than father, Victor's mode and facial expressions became serious. You must not have understood the original lesson. Control as many runners as possible. Howard was just one of many. He just showed willingness to achieve wealth and power over everything and everyone else. How do you think we were able to get those Chinese-made microchips used in U.S. military systems? These fools have no principles they live by, so they will turn a blind eye to get what they desire most. So, control many, and one will take the lead. What about tomorrow? Eckhard asked. Once again, a smile slowly crept across Victor's face. Tomorrow? There will be no tomorrow for those currently sitting in Washington. Shortly after the EMP, hypersonic missiles will not only eliminate remaining vessels, but strike Washington, D.C., and major U.S. military bases. Satisfied with his answer, Eckhard moved to other matters as they both eagerly awaited success from decades of planning. Victor sat listening to everything Eckhard was saying and responding, even though he imagines Oscar standing in front of him speaking. My old friend, the time is near, Victor thought before becoming tired of hearing statistics and projections of things that would matter little in a matter of hours. What of actions after today? Have preparations been completed? He asked, stopping Eckhard in middle of a market holdings briefing. Used to having his father change topics, Eckhard scrolled through a few screens and began reading. It appears the strong cities network you pushed has paid off greatly. United Nations police forces have secured a great number of firearms and have detained over 300,000 threats. FEMA Region 4, 6, 7, and 8 are requesting additional personnel due to resistance. Personnel have been dispatched. They are... Holding up his hand, singling a pause, Victor asked, "What of efforts after today? I understand our person, Lance Rudder, is only the assistant FEMA director. Actions moving forward will be determined by the director of FEMA. Is there a plan for this?" With a smirk of pleasure crossing his face, Eckhard knew this topic would come up and had already addressed it. "Yes, I think you will be pleased that the director will be visiting the White House for lunch today. Shortly after, he will join others in this current administration in the history books." "Goot, goot," Victor replied with little emotion, even though pleased Eckhard had solved this problem. He could tell Eckhard was pleased as well, and believed showing approval when his son expected it only served to make him weak. Slightly disappointed at such a neutral response, Eckhard decided to continue. "All main facilities and secondary facilities are up and running. As you know, not all vehicles were EMP protected. However, our current information has them and communications equipment at 70%. Satisfactory for carrying out operations after today's activities." "My son," Victor began, his voice carrying a tone of both excitement and satisfaction. "Today marks the culmination of our efforts as we dismantle the most formidable empire in the archives of human history." Laughter erupted from him, a torrent that echoed with a newfound depth, surpassing any delight he had ever experienced. In those moments, Victor's elation was profound, a manifestation of the pride that surged within him. The success of this venture wasn't merely the undoing of a reigning power. It was a testament to the prowess of his genetically engineered son, Eckhard. This achievement stood as a radiant counterpoint to his biological son, William, whom Victor regarded with diminishing regard.